Glover Teixeira is considering a return to combat sports. Glover retired after his unanimous decision loss to Jamal Hill back in January of 2023. He's currently 44 years old, and he'll be 45 later this month. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Glover said there's nothing booked, but I'll definitely go back to competition. I keep going after challenges. It's hard to stay training with no reason why, so I'll definitely do something. I want to compete. I'll do some jiu-jitsu. I want to do, I don't know, maybe boxing, or even go back to some fights in the UFC. That's got to be it because it's hard, man. I'm feeling great, fighting hard with the guys in the gym. I've rolled with some wrestlers, training with Sean Strickland and Poatan. I was doing some light sparring with Poatan the other day, and he's like, F Glover, you have to come back. I'm training well, I'm feeling well. I love this. I'm not saying I want to fight, but I want to compete. If it's jiu-jitsu, Lovato, guys like that, I want to do some matches. That's for sure. Khalil Rountree discusses what's next for him. On the Pound for Pound podcast, Khalil says he'd like to fight somebody in the top 3 of the light heavyweight division. At the moment, Yuri Prochazka is number 1, Magomed Ankalaev is number 2, and Jamal Hill is number 3.
I'm not really sure what's next. I know, like right now with this surgery in my nose, everything, I'd imagine that I'm for sure going to take the rest of the year off to let this stuff heal up. But I'm hoping that at some point I sit down with the UFC and we can discuss that. I'd like to discuss, you know, what it is that they see next for me. I'd imagine and hope that I'd be able to still fight within, you know, the top 3, top 5, you know, so that I'm not too far away from getting another shot at the title after, you know, a performance like that against Alex. So I'm still looking to fight up, you know, for sure. That's definitely my plan. I don't know who exactly. We got these guys lined up now who are going to fight each other, you know, while I'm healing up. And we'll see how everything plays out. But yeah, in the meantime, between healing and all that, I'll be watching and preparing and talking to the UFC. And, you know, like I said, I hope that they have high hopes for me and give me another, you know, shot at somebody at the top so that I could go and run it again.
Kayla Harrison is fired back at the PFL today. Just hours prior to UFC 307, the PFL released a video on their social medias mocking Kayla's loss to Larissa Pacheco. It was a unanimous decision loss and the only loss in Kayla's MMA career.
Here's how an all-time PFL great, Kayla Harrison, was upset by Larissa Pacheco. In 2022, Pacheco added a section to Kayla Harrison's MMA story that nobody saw coming when she beat her in a unanimous decision in the PFL Championship. Harrison was widely regarded as the best female MMA fighter. She was a 2-time gold medalist in combat sports and had a 15-0 record in the PFL. Pacheco came in as a massive underdog, but she brought the dog to the fight and became the only woman to successfully stop Kayla Harrison. Now she's taking on another women's MMA legend, Chris Cyborg, in a PFL super fight on October 19th, and you won't want to miss it.
Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Kayla responded saying, "I operate from a place of gratitude, and I grew up in that organization. I was able to financially provide for my family. I have financial abundance. I grew up so much there. I'm grateful for what I believe I helped build over there. I feel like I was a big part of that, and I take pride in that. But I just don't have time for that kind of negativity and those digs. I don't care. I'm staying in my lane. I'm doing my thing. I'm chasing my dreams. If anybody has a problem with that, I've said it very clearly before. They can go f themselves. I don't have anything to say. You want to talk about me losing a fight? Go ahead." Renato Moicano and Gilbert Burns discuss Mario Bautista's controversial win over Jose Aldo. Renato himself lost to Aldo back in February of 2019 and says he wishes he knew that he could have just pressed Aldo up against the cage like Bautista did.
But Moicano told me to bet 10,000 on Jose Aldo, bro. He said 100% Jose Aldo is not losing, my brother.
Bro. That was crazy.
Do you think he lost or he got robbed?
Dude, I think he got
So do you think he win?
I think he won, yeah.
He won
29-28.
So I was right.
Well, you were right, but even when you're right, sometimes in gambling, you still lose. No, that's the part about this.
I think Jose Aldo lost, even though I won the, what's the referee's name? Mike Beltran. Was Beltran in that fight?
Yeah, Beltran.
I wanted Beltran to be, hey, move. But he was just like, hey, move. And the guy just did these, like, holding, like,
I'm telling you right now.
That's not moving.
They were like
and then he let the guy just did a little shoulder, you know. Hey, move. Yeah. Action. The guy did these like
He did just a little
And
bit
then
of
he
salsa.
don't say nothing.
Uh-huh.
And he don't say nothing.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm watching at home and say, hey, that's not moving. That he's not trying. Like, just break. And then, but Bautista was more because whenever he said action, the guy just showed the movement.
Brother.
And then
But I'm
stopped.
so mad that I lose to Jose Aldo. Because if I knew that he could not escape to the cage, I would do the same thing, my brother. Because when I was like supposed to fight Jose Aldo, say, okay, I'm not taking this motherfucker down because he has a 100%, 90% takedown defense radio. But he cannot escape the cage. Unbelievable. Because Mario Bautista is not strong. He doesn't look strong.
Merab did the same thing to him.
Yeah, but Merab is Merab. Volkanovski.
But Merab showed the way, you know. That's why Bautista did. Bautista, like, if he gets crazy on stand up, I'm just gonna put this guy against the cage and I'm gonna win.
I was very surprised. Do you think he was like trying to save energy, or he could not escape?
I think he was kind of getting tired a little bit, and Bautista was doing good, and then he was just like, I'm defending,
I'm winning.
He needed to have a little bit more urgency. Even his corner was saying
he's 40 and he's tired, bro.
But he's 42.
TJ Dillashaw believes Jose Aldo only has himself to blame for his loss to Mario Bautista at UFC 307. On the Jackson podcast, TJ said, my frustration is coming from, how the f does Aldo not know how to get off the cage? It's almost like he's willing to chill there because he doesn't want to get tired. He can get out so easy. Bautista got his wrong leg forward, so he's got to right underhook, and his right leg will be forward. That is the easiest thing to get off the cage, every time. It surprises me when a world champion, there's techniques like this that he doesn't get off the cage. A lot of people thought Aldo should have won. To be honest, I don't know. He kept himself here. I'm not too mad. He lost the fight himself. You're just chancing it. You're chancing it to this judge. He's controlling me against the cage. Rather than take all f***ing chance out of it, circle off the cage. The same mentality I go in every fight is you have to f***ing kill me. You're not going to hold me down. You're not going to hold me against the cage. I'm going to do what I want to do. Jorge Masvidal made an appearance on Bo Nickal's podcast. Masvidal says he plans to return to the UFC in March of 2025, and Bo discusses what's next for him after his upcoming fight with Paul Craig.
So you think you want to get a fight? How long before you want to get a fight?
Next year, March.
Let's go.
Next year, March.
March is always a big card, so.
Yeah, next year, March. If
Let's
they go to Miami, I'm going to somebody up in Miami.
Is it in Miami, potentially?
I don't
know. They're due for another one in Miami.
Right?
So.
But if they do, they're going to have me on that gate.
If they do a Miami card in March, I'll hop on too.
Let's go.
100%. Or anytime in the end of the year.
We're going to up.
Wow.
Crazy, that'd be crazy, bro.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
Who
so
you
fun.
want next after this?
You know, whoever really. I talk with Mike and Dan and the coaches and stuff, and I'm like, this is a good step up with Paul Craig and stuff. So take care of business, and then I want to do like 2 more guys that are unranked, then fight a ranked guy. So at that point, I'll be 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, fight a ranked guy, 10-0, 11-0, probably fight a top 5 guy, and then fight for the belt around 12-0. That's like what I'm planning on right now. So.
Cody Garbrandt posted new training footage today. Cody is preparing to fight Miles Johns at UFC Fight Night on November 9th. Conor McGregor is still interested in the Michael Chandler fight, however expresses interest in fighting both Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz again. Conor said, we're looking for a date. Hopefully I'd like to square it away with Michael Chandler. I'd like to get Chandler in. We've had our beef. It's not settled. He has a match scheduled. I'd like to fight. Maybe before that or before he's recovered. So there's a few names in the line at the minute. There's a few names being discussed. On Nate and Dustin, Conor said both of them. Both. It's a must for sure. The Dustin one is not settled. It's 1-1-1, and the Diaz one is also 1-1. 2 big blockbuster matches that I'm excited to get them locked in. This video is brought to you by ZBiotics, your first drink of the night for a better tomorrow. Ever skipped a workout because of drinks the night before? Well, if you're committed to your healthy routine this year, you need ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol. Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-Alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink this prebiotic before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. So stay in the loop and go to zbiotics.com/fullmountmma. You can scan the QR code on the screen right now to get 15% off your first order when you use Full Mount MMA at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using this code so you can stay prepared no matter the time or occasion. ZBiotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Once again, that's zbiotics.com/fullmountmma and use code FullMountMMA at checkout. Sean Strickland went off on Andrew and Tristan Tate. Recently, Andrew Tate had this to say about Sean. He's talking to Sneeko, the streamer that Sean recently sparred.
I know you think you're a tough guy because Strickland couldn't finish you. I'll finish you. Don't worry about that. I'm built different.
On X, Tristan Tate posted this. He wrote, "Unpopular fact. No man who spends money on an e-girl or was scammed. Aren't men accountable for their own bad habits? Was I scammed when I bought a 900 euro cigar? Was I scammed when I bought that 7,500 euro bottle of wine? Grow up." Sean reposted that. He wrote, "You guys are just low-life con artists. You're no better than a dealer saying, well, they chose to do You preach masculinity, yet you prey on weak men. You and your brother are cowards, pretending to be lions. Low-life dealers, nothing more." He continued, "Utter piece of People who follow this guy are no different." This user replied, "I don't know. I feel like anyone who spends all their money on webcam girls deserves everything that happens to them." Sean said, "You could be a man and understand that there's a void in men's lives. I feel for them. Or you can be Andrew Tate and pretend to be a cam girl to rob them. It's insane men follow people who would take the shirt off their back if they could." This user said, "Sean, think you could take them both at once in an MMA fight?" Sean said, "I could threaten them, and I probably would hit him if I seen him, but there's no point to threatening a coward. Nothing will come from it." Tristan Tate responded. He wrote, "You sound like the kind of guy who believes the name is really Crystal and she's struggling to pay off her student loans. Believing a story doesn't mean she scammed you. She still sat for 10 hours and spoke to your dumb ass. It's a job and she deserves to get paid for it. That's what that business I ran was, an online club. Suppose I should have had all the models dox their real names, stories, and addresses so I wasn't scamming. I did this for a couple of years as a younger man. It was a good business. Made me less in total than I give to charity per year now though. I actually like some of the things you say. Don't get me wrong, 75% of them are just copy and pasted from my brother. But imitation is a high form of flattery. I know you're a fan when I hear you badly mimic his talking points. People will gamble and lose on your next fight. Better tell them gambling's a scam before you get in that cage. No self-accountability on them, of course. It will be all your fault. Good luck in your next fight anyway." And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one says Jake Paul related news should be permanently banned from this channel. The second one says Jamal Hill is painfully cringe. And the final one says I'm a simple man. I see Jamal Hill stuff and instantly skip. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.